All right. What's up, creators? Welcome to another episode of Post and Destroy.
Destroy.
I'm your host, Percy Robinson, and to my right is my main man,
Killer Cam.
Yes, sir. So, Cam, I was doing some thinking yesterday, and you know when I think,
Not you doing things.
I know, right? It's it's kind of crazy, and I kind of wanted to cater this episode for new creators.
Mm-hmm.
And not new creators in the sense of like I just got a camera, but new creators that have their phones in their hands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think gear kind of hinders people from actually creating content. Would you agree?
Can. Yeah.
Yeah. I know for me.
Well, it's like it's gear mixed with perfectionism.
Yeah.
Because people's the premise of a lot of people, what they do online is they're selling something. So they'll like sell you the gear, or they'll sell the gear that's attached to their affiliate link. And so it's like you get these things and you're like, oh, this is what's gonna make or break. And then you're like, no.
It's like, no, it's not. And then you finally get it, and then like it doesn't end up working out for you.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, this is gonna go in the drawer.
Yeah, when Glenn and I were starting out, I was getting a lot of stuff. And last year, coming into this year, I told Glenn, my mission is I have to use every single piece of equipment that I have bought for the company. Because I had like V-mount batteries. I had I had these things in preparation for these like jobs or whatever that we would get. And so, but I am happy to say I have used every piece of equipment at this point.
So there's no piece of equipment that you bought and you're like, oh, this is not what I thought it was going to be.
I didn't say that.
Or like you use it for a little bit and you're like, this isn't the piece of equipment that I thought it was, it was going to be.
Groundbreaking.
Yeah. And then, yeah, not as groundbreaking.
Yeah.
And, or like you went and bought something that was better.
So one of the things that I bought that I haven't used as much as I thought I would is it's like that like necklace.
Yeah, I seen that in your drawer, and I was like, I know he didn't fucking buy it. I was like,
and you put your phone on it?
Yeah.
I did use the shit out of it, like to show like me setting up the studio.
Yeah.
And it is actually pretty cool. Like, especially like if you just like what we talked about, if you just have your phone, that allows you to now get this really cool angle. I mean, think about you with juicing.
Yeah.
I mean, you put that $15 thing on, now people get to watch you
POV.
juice.
Yeah.
Is it the same thing like Gregory Kettle? He put on Essex's Meta glasses.
Yeah.
And that video went like almost viral on TikTok just because all he was doing was making kettle popcorn.
That's crazy.
But because it was like that view of his hands and like people just dig that stuff, man.
So no, I mean that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I bought some. I'm not gonna lie. Like I bought some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like on my first journey. So
we all have.
This is actually a pretty funny story. I would always want, because I have a cooking channel, and when I first started, I was like, man, like how can I get a better view?
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about POV or anything like that. Like I wanted to master the top down shot.
Yeah, you guys got to go check out his early videos.
Ayo, exactly.
Yep,
run them bitches up.
He looks frosty. Exposure much?
Not as much gray. But I bought this thing on Amazon, and you put your phone on, it has an arm, and then it has like a little base right here.
Yeah.
It's still sitting
like
in my
boom.
Closet.
Oh, you never even used it?
No, I used it.
Oh, okay.
But in my old videos, like you could see the black base on my counter. You know what I mean? So I'm like, well, this is terrible. This is terrible. But this is a good hack though, like for a top down shot. If you're not shooting like, another like if you just want to do a top down shot and use your hands, you can use these mic stands.
Yep.
And you can clip it onto your counter.
Yep.
And then get a clip for your phone, and then you can do, you know, you can film you making stuff.
These literally just like the little like adjustable part here is just like, it's so, like you just say, you can use it for so much.
Yeah, you can use it for so many things.
Yep. You can clip it to like your bookshelf.
Yeah.
Everything.
I mean, there's so many things.
Thought about that too.
Yeah, but they have other things now, like those little arms or whatever. Those they're like this big, but you can like rotate it, clip it on the shelves, door handles. You know, do different shit with it.
Yeah,
which is pretty dope.
But this one can hold a mic.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Bitch.
The other ones can't. But so I used that for a minute. I was like, this is cool. But then I wanted to get me actually cooking, you know, the front view of me cooking, and then I wanted a top-down shot. So that's where I found the C-stand. Yeah. And I was like, man, I should have bought this a long time ago. I could have saved me some money.
Yep.
So that's what I say, like gear, just really research, you know, the gear that you actually want to get. Because there's people out here, you know, they got their little affiliate links, which is cool. I'm not trying to hate on anyone's hustle, but they're just selling shit just to sell shit.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's this one chick that I follow, and I'll admit she does really good like reviews and like has really good lists, but I'm like, are you really using all this is a lot of equipment for you to be using stuff out of your house.
Right.
You know, like we have a studio, and I still feel like, man, maybe I need to tailor down on the stuff, you know, but even though we get jobs where we got to use 4, 5, 6 cameras, right? And you know, and that's something we're going to start doing. FYI, look out for it. Me and Percy going to start doing product reviews of all the equipment we have in the studio.
Exactly, because there's a lot.
There's a lot, and and the links will be down there, obviously, because at the end of the day, that's the name of the game. However, is really just to show you guys what it's like to use this stuff in like a legit studio or run and gun setting.
Yeah, the proper way. Yeah, and I wouldn't suggest, like, I have people come up to me and be like, Percy, you know what I mean? Like, should I get this camera? Should I do this? Yeah. Should I get the Osmo?
The answer is
yes.
And
I'm like, I would disagree. I would say, you know, as someone that has mastered the phone, has, you know, mastered the camera, like,
for sure.
And I'm not saying like master as far as like, it's basically mastering as like my ISO, you know, my aperture, just knowing how to do the manual settings. If you're shooting on your camera and you're just doing manual settings, like just give up your camera and just use your phone. You know what I mean? I would say learn the manual settings, so that way you can hone in your own style, your own view, how the content's going to come out. You know what I mean? Gear versus skill. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much what I was touching on. Like, it doesn't matter how much expensive gear you have. If you don't know how to use it, your content's going to look like shit. Like, I'm going to keep it a buck. Like, what's your say on that?
Well, you know me, I'm a gearhead.
Yeah, you are.
I'm a hella gearhead now, but I do agree. You know, and I think there's obviously levels to how much you know about your stuff, right? So, you know, for instance, when I upgraded from the M50 to the Canon, right?
R6 Mark II, right?
The Canon R6 Mark II with the EF lens. So, I mean, that was a $5,000 rig, like just like off top. And so, but it was funny because, you know, it's all about what's important to the person. So like I told you, you know, a lot of people would look at that and be like, oh, damn, like you got that because it takes like great photos. And although it was shown to me in that environment, I actually got it because the most important thing for me was that it could run without shutting off for at least an hour or potentially 2 hours.
Right.
While having amazing quality, while allowing me to have 2 different memory cards so I would never have to worry about running out of space. You know, I knew it looked great because I had a photographer friend of ours who like did a whole lesson with me with using that camera, which is why I bought it. I mean, he probably should have an affiliate link. I sent him a picture after the show. He's like, "Are you serious?" And I was like, "Hey, man." Especially once I see something in action, I know I like, you know, that this is no longer an Amazon review, but I didn't know how to use it, but it immediately made everything look amazing for Glenn and I on the podcast because it's a great camera. Now, but once I added, the simple little $70 Amazon kit, because I understood a little bit more about lighting now, plus that camera, it was like off to the races. Right. And I really didn't know that much. I wouldn't even say I mastered any of those things. It was like I have a much larger respect for run and gun shooting than I do studio shooting. If I'm being 100 with it, like it's really easy to put this shit on a tripod and then like adjust the ISO to the setting to the studio that I have created, right? Rather than like you're out and about and the weather's changing and you're
fighting elements.
You're fighting the elements, you're fighting people, did you forget your ND filter? Happened to me. No, in real and that was the thing is I was on this is a good example. I relied on my gear too much because what happened was I didn't bring my ND filter and I did not know how to properly adjust the settings on my camera to negate being out in the sunlight. And, because we were running and gunning, I didn't think about it until like we were 75% done with the event where I was like, wait a minute, I know there's settings for this that I don't have to have an ND filter. And I looked it up and it was like, yeah, if you're shooting in the sunlight, set your f-stop to this and set your ISO to that. But now I know that. Now I know that you can run up your f-stop, and it'll darken the image. You can run up your ISO, obviously, or run down your ISO and vice versa. But I didn't know that initially, and I relied too heavily on my gear. And then I forgot, $50 thing could have ruined an entire shoot.
Oh yeah, it's the basics, and that's what I say about like knowing your equipment and what it does. Mm-hmm. Because in that situation, you know what I mean, like knowing the importance of f-stop, knowing the importance of ISO, knowing how to do the balancing act, you know what I mean, balancing everything out so you can get the image that you want. Someone that is new to this doesn't know that.
And it's funny because the other shooter that was with us, I was like, he's like, oh, I thought you knew that. He's like, that's why when I told you I was having to adjust the f-stop over and over again, and I was like, bro, I would much rather you just to double check that I know something than assume that I know it.
Right.
I'm cool. I'm never going to be like, really, bro? I'm be like, nope, got it. I'm good.
Yeah. No. And that's what teamwork is, especially when you're on those shoots, is just having everybody on the same page.
Yeah.
When it comes to that. That actually brings me up to the next thing I want to talk about is lighting tips.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Natural versus soft, I prefer as much as I invested in my lights, I prefer natural light.
Natural lighting is dope as long as you can get it at the right time.
Yeah, you're basically fighting time.
You're literally like you got to be ready.
Yeah.
Like the studio has really great, but it's like, but I know that around 12 o'clock it starts to get too bright, or it goes away.
Yeah, it goes away like that. So, I do like the studio light, especially like when I'm doing my cooking and everything else. Like, I try to match my natural lights with my actual studio lights, because sometimes like in my house, the light doesn't quite reach it. So like I'll adjust my light setting, with my studio lights to like have that brightness come in.
Okay.
To emulate
the sun.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to fake it.
Yep.
So with new creators, like I would suggest, like if you are going to invest in anything, keep your phone. Invest in lighting.
Oh yeah.
So that way you can create any time of the day if you like.
You can even buy you don't even have to buy like lights per se. You can literally just buy the bulbs.
Yeah.
You can buy those adjustable bulbs on, because I did it for one. I found like some light stands. I happened to find them at Goodwill for like $7. They didn't have bulbs. I was like, oh, okay, I'll go on Amazon and buy the bulb. And so the bulbs were like $20. So I got like, the lighting I hadn't paid for initially was like $70. I got it, not the exact same.
And you got
thing,
those adjustables where you can adjust the Kelvin and everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
I already had the remote. I just had it because a lot of those lights use the same sensors.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, so back to that. I would invest. I would invest in light. If I can do it all over again, I'd invest in lighting, and keep my phone
for sure.
And then get to know like these outside apps like Black Magic, Filmic Pro, so you can adjust on the fly and actually learn the settings of like your aperture, your ISO, your f-stop. Those apps are really good for that. And when you do upgrade your camera, you have an idea as far as what it is you're shooting and how you're shooting it, like what looks good and what doesn't look good. Now that we have like the lights and the gear and the phone taken care of, right? Stabilization, for your phone. You guys know I had a stack of books, but Cam seems to think I had a stack of pornos.
It was a stack of pornos. Don't let him play you out.
I read them for the articles.
Yo, real talk, like growing up, my mom had a friend who like that was the thing. Straight up.
I think
she read it for the articles. No, because they would give them to me after.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Like back then, we had the books, but it was when cable was like, you had that box. You know what I mean? So like,
are you trying to catch in between like the
yeah. So it would be like, so back then
Cinemax?
it would be Skinemax. It would be scribbling. So me and my friends were like, oh my God, look,
I saw a nipple.
I saw it. Okay. The struggle was real.
The struggle, not really. And then you get older and you're like, oh man, this was like the softest of porn ever.
I'm like, nowadays these kids got access to everything, bro. It's 4K.
Bro, it's bad now.
Yeah,
it's freaking bad.
It's terrible. It's terrible. But have yourself a good tripod. You know what I mean? Like even before you buy your gear, like find out what it is that you're going to be doing as far as content. Are you the run and gun type? Are you going to be out vlogging and everything else? Like that's how you should cater to the type of gear you're going to be getting. So vlogging, I would get ND filters for my phone. You know what I mean? That's like sunglasses for your lens. So like you're not super overexposed, but you have that nice, clean look. You know what I mean? When you shoot the content. I would get like, a Gorilla Pod. You know what I mean? If I'm out running and gunning, right?
What's the Gorilla Pod?
Gorilla Pod is like the weird looking thing, the Joby.
Oh, I have the Joby.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was called a Gorilla Pod back in the day. Yeah.
I got one of them. I got one of them.
Yeah, I got a couple
really
of them in my drawer.
In New Orleans. You got a couple of them?
Yeah, I got a couple of them.
When was the last time you used it?
Man, it's been a minute.
Bring them shits to the studio.
Couple years.
We'll set them mugs up.
I'll definitely do that. I'll definitely do that. Consolidation.
Did you see that video I sent you about the different cameras if they were people?
Yeah. I was.
That shit was hilarious.
It was.
He said, "Who cares about battery life when you got color science?"
Exactly.
Black Magic.
I know. Shout out to Black Magic.
I didn't know that the red cameras were Nikons.
Yeah. Well, red. I think red or Nikon bought red.
Okay, that's what it is. I was like, I thought red was its own thing.
Yeah.
I guess I never looked because I was like, I'm never gonna buy one. So.
I mean, would I like to have one? Of course.
Well, I mean, at that point, it's just a statement.
To really flex.
I mean, it's really just a flex.
Yeah,
that's really all it is.
Flex. Like, I'm gonna build this out, bro, and I'm gonna go to every shoot. Yeah. Like, if I had got that, I wouldn't use that on everybody. Like,
no.
Like that would.
That's
be
like the other videos you see where it's like client budget's $500 and it's like an Osmo. It's like
no, real talk.
Yeah.
Real talk. You know, personally, I have this idea that I want to do. And like, I want lighting. Okay, well, how much is the budget? $150. Okay, well, I'm gonna bring my phone.
And these food stamps.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring my phone and some budget lighting because $150, like, that ain't gonna work.
No,
we elevated.
We elevated.
We definitely elevated. So basically, tripods.
Yep.
If you are, especially if you're a solo shooter, I would get one of those Gorilla Pods or whatever. You can get them on Amazon. Those are pretty cool. I mean, they're pretty cheap.
At least get a tripod with like an adjustable head.
Yeah, definitely adjustable head. Yeah. You know what I mean? I would also I wouldn't get a gimbal if I was like a solo shooter. Hear me out. A gimbal is basically like you're holding the gimbal and you're shooting somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine holding your gimbal on top of your camera, right? Oh, we're talking about phones.
Yeah.
So
why are you jumping up, dog?
I'm
they
sorry.
have the phone gimbals though.
Yeah, I mean
like
the phone
I have
gimbals
the
are lightweight.
Osmo Pocket.
Mm-hmm.
No, sorry, that's the other thing.
No, it is.
It's an Osmo something though.
Yeah.
Mobile. Osmo Mobile.
Yeah.
And that thing is pretty cool. Like when you're on the, I used the hell out of that thing when I was in. Oh, actually no, correction. I gave my Osmo to a partner of ours, and then I got a 360. This, the whatever, same thing. But I used the hell out of it in Guam. Okay. It was like really packable. Like between, I don't think I had the Osmo when I went to Guam, like my Osmo Pocket. So I think between the 360 phone gimbal plus my GoPro and my drone, that's what I shot everything on. And it was
that's pretty much all you.
That's all you. And it was amazing. I mean, like I said, I still got to show it to you. You're probably gonna be pretty pissed off.
If I were to do some type of travel, like I wouldn't. I mean, I would take my camera.
No, I mean I'm taking my camera.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I got the Wander bag.
Yeah.
That thing's pretty cool. If it fits the FX30 plus my ND and the pocket, as long as I take it out of the case.
No, that's what's up.
And like my wallet and stuff.
That's what's up.
I got too much shit.
You do.
I'm a bag whore.
You are.
I hella am.
I am too. Like I have stuff that's like in my drawers.
I'm trying to get really better at it.
Like I'm just gonna do like a giveaway because like it's like
this is just ridiculous.
It's like the cheap shit that like I bought to think that I was gonna be a better creator with it.
Oh yeah.
And I was a bit better creator without it. Like the less resources that I had, like the more creative I got.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was waking up and like, okay, well I'm gonna put my phone up here and then I'm gonna shoot from this angle.
Yeah.
So like
well, things also just change.
Yeah, things do change.
Like the docking station. Like that thing was gonna sit in the drawer for the next year.
Yeah.
Why? Like I'm not setting up another desk in here. Like take that shit. I already got
that was a lifesaver because when mine went down, like, bro, you don't know.
Teamwork, bro.
Bro, you don't know. Like
I know. That's why I was like, take this shit because I know how more productive it can be with multiple screens.
I was editing on like my kitchen table for the longest time.
Bless your heart.
And I had bought this desk like when I moved into my spot. Like I was like, okay, it's one of those that raises up.
Yep.
I had the idea. I was like, I'm gonna put a treadmill right there so I can just walk.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And like do my thing. Get my steps in. Hello. But like my thing went down. I'm like, I was like, shit, dude. And it was cheap. I ain't gonna lie. It was cheap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I spent like $100 and something on it, but it was.
You good now? You good now?
Oh
boo-boo?
yeah, I'm straight. I'll be going over there, and it was. And the great part about it is I don't have to bring my Apple block and charging and plug it in. Like you just plug it in, and it charges it while.
Correct.
Yeah. So
that is something that I would say is like a must-have if you're really trying to get into content. Is have a dedicated space that you get to sit at. To concentrate on what you're doing.
Quiet. Yep.
You don't necessarily need a whole desk of gear, but like, so I went on a men's retreat last year, and one of the big things that was discussed that I really appreciated was we don't do a good job of creating specific spaces for things, and that is. Not just physical spaces, but even like communication spaces. Like, because like think about how many times people call you and then expect you to have a 45-minute conversation just to have a 45-minute conversation.
Right.
But if I call you and say, hey, Percy, can we schedule a time in the next week? Let me know what day works for you. I really want to discuss what this partnership looks like for the next 10 years.
Gotcha.
I have now respected your time in the moment, but I have created the space now to where we're having a conversation with intention.
Yeah.
And so it's the same thing with your house, like, or your other spaces, like I don't have a TV in my room. that's because when I'm in my room, when we're in our bedroom, we are intentional about spending time together, my wife and I. And so like we don't, play on our phones, but there's nothing like that in the room.
No, that's dope.
This game.
I love it how we we have this, we have this idea of like what we're gonna be talking about, right? And then, like something will trigger in our mind, be like, and it'll sway the conversation.
Yeah.
But that's what I like about this podcast. It's not one of those podcasts where we're going to be like, okay, sir, today we're going to talk about this. And then we're going to keep the outline and the syllabus is going to go like this.
I can't work like that.
I can't. My brain's not like that. Like, I just like to be free.
Mm-hmm.
Free falling. But yeah, I mean, that's what I like about this podcast. It's just something that you can just put on in the background, listen to, two dudes just talking about some shit.
Dudes.
You know what I mean?
Freaking dudes.
Freaking dudes.
Freaking dudes. So, 0.5 or 1.0 on Zoom on your iPhone?
I would say,
and cinematic versus video.
I would say regular video. Like I think like the I call it faux cinematic.
Yeah.
Like faux, like
it makes a good bokeh though.
Does it though?
It's not bad
it's not good.
I mean, it's not bad.
I just think like it's gimmicky. It's so gimmicky.
But would someone know if it was on your phone or an actual camera?
I would know.
Think so?
Yeah. Because
challenge accepted.
Because with the phone, it almost gives you too much of that depth of field.
It's like too much bokeh.
It's just like it's kind of like AI.
Well, you can adjust it now.
You can, but I prefer just shooting it naturally.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I would rather. There's much more important things than shooting with bokeh. Like if it was like a big surrounding, I wouldn't shoot cinema, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if it was like if I was shooting you up close, like to get like the emotion, then I would kind of use cinema to play with the bokeh. Okay. But I wouldn't go super bokeh on it. You know what I mean? Like
you're heavily, so bokeh.
Yeah, dude, you're so bokeh,
so
bro.
Bokeh, bro.
And for those of you that are listening that don't know what bokeh is, it's just that blurred in the background that separates the subject from the actual background. Yeah. That's all that is.
Free so free. That's why that cinematic like feels like it looks better because it focuses on the person on your phone.
And that's another thing. Like I hate, like everyone says, dude, this is so cinematic, bro. I think it's overused.
I mean, like, everything's overused these days.
Yeah, like oh my god, like triggered's overused.
Triggered's hella overused.
I hate when people say gaslight.
Narcissist.
Like these are the words that are overused. Like people went to the dictionary. You know what I mean? Found out some new words. And like, I'm going to use this.
Well, the other thing is it's funny because it's usually overused by the people who are those things.
Cam, can you say that again for the people in the back?
It's you.
It is you, my friend.
In the hand gestures of Karina. If you're watching this,
as my daughter always says, clock it. I'm like,
no.
Yeah, she does. She does clock it.
I'm gonna hit Karina with that. Like, clock it,
clock it, and then she goes, period. I love her to death, Eliana. I love you to death.
Peace up, Ellie. Can't wait to meet you. By the way.
Yes. She is an amazing child, but she does make me laugh. Like, it kind of like having conversations with her kind of makes me feel like old now. Like I feel young until like I get around my daughter and she like reaffirms like how old I am.
My kids call me. I mean, shit. My daughter came for me the other day. Called me a damn solar panel salesman.
Wow.
I didn't tell you that yesterday.
No.
Oh man. All right, we're gonna end it on this. So this young lady freaking was like, Dad, by the way, what did you wear to my graduation? And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, why was your shirt tucked in? I was like, because I was trying to look nice. And she said, you look like you sold solar panels.
So basically we can't tuck in our shirts no more?
I think it's because I had like, so remember what I wore to the Super Bowl meeting? The like polo?
Yeah, it was clean.
It was that without the jacket.
Okay.
Yeah, but she was just like,
maybe you should have put the jacket on.
I didn't have access to the jacket. The jacket was at the office.
Oh, okay.
That's why I put the jacket on. That was my plan, was to put the jacket on for the night, right? But I was like, but still, I didn't look bad. And I was just like, dang.
Yeah, I think
It's coming for me, dog.
I think like this youth doesn't understand like, like how we used to do shit back in the day.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So like when we do stuff, they're like, ew, you're doing that? Like bro, you never seen this shit before.
Yeah, I saw a video. It was talking about all the stuff we did. Like, and it was like, I used to wear business casual to the club.
You were that dude that wore business
I
casual?
was. I wore like jeans and a button up and a vest and a tie sometimes.
A vest, Cameron?
Bro,
a vest?
I was slinging them.
Wow.
I was good. I was.
Were you pulling them with that?
I was hella pulling them.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
Oh, bro. Yes.
Bro. I was every time I went to the club, man, I was clean.
I'll see if I can find a picture. We can put it in this episode.
Oh yeah. You lost me with vest.
It was thing. I used to go to Macy's.
Oh, I remember the vest.
You remember the vest?
The little pointed little. Oh my god.
A little shirt. Yep. Killing it, boy.
Man, if
had a lineup, had me some little fake diamonds,
bro. I had the two in this ear, two in this ear. Man, those were the days, bro. Those were the days. Man.
Shout out to the early 2000s.
I'm not gonna tell you what I used to wear to the club because like that'll disclose too much information. What I used to do back in the day.
Oh, okay.
But I was clean though.
You wore those like raver pants, didn't you?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
What are they called?
The Jinko jeans.
Fucking Jinko.
Jinko jeans. Like I think those.
I honestly didn't know what those were until Ned told me.
Bro,
no one I hung out with wore those.
So
or no one I knew honestly wore those.
Before I used to go to the clubs, I would go to the raves, right? Mm-hmm. And you would see Jinko jeans like all over the place, and everyone just wearing like the fluorescent, colors. I'm like, dude, this is so weird. But anyways, folks, I know we were talking about beginner content creators and everything else. We kind of ran off and went on a tangent, kind of like how we do. But this is what this podcast is about. Like we'll give you that real game, real talk. You know what I'm saying? But then we'll tell some stories, which is good because like some of you guys are watching, you guys are our age, and you understand things like Jinko jeans and wearing vests. To the
and
club.
You might not.
Well, maybe not wearing a vest.
And you might not even be watching to honestly learn content. You might just like the vibe.
Exactly, the vibes. And then the people that are listening in the cars, because we're gonna put this on. Apple and stuff like that. Yeah. So like,
I got my taco meat out for all you guys on.
Taco meat.
That's what they want.
I have no taco meat.
Why you got your taco meat out?
I was blessed with no taco meat,
bro. You know what? For having Middle Eastern blood in me, I'm surprised.
Oh yeah,
not that hairy.
That's a taco meat.
If I'm being honest,
bro.
It's a taco. I do got the meats on the talks though. I got them collarbone curls.
Like damn, you have an extra coat.
It ain't that bad.
You know what I mean?
I mean, shit. I'm really not. I don't shave my arms or nothing.
No, that's crazy. Like
I have been asked if I do my eyebrows though, and I'm like, nope. I'm just naturally.
You have some well structured eyebrows.
I don't do nothing, bro. Yo, I had some. She's like, yo, hey, who does your eyebrows? And I was like, I don't do my eyebrows. She looked at me and she said, you're lying.
Dude, I've seen dudes that overdo their eyebrows, and I'm like, bro, that looks so bad.
My son has like a unibrow. We shave it.
I mean, I used to get mine like done, but like a manly done. I know that sounds weird.
No, I get it.
I can't say like a manly.
No, I mean you don't want it to be like Uncle Fester.
Yeah, like and my eyebrows weren't like super thick.
That makes sense.
They were just like,
they can like go all over the place.
Yeah,
I get it. So
look at two guys talking about eyebrows.
Yeah, I get my feet done.
I used to get my feet done too.
Yep. That's like a date for my wife and I.
I think more men should do that.
I mean, you just gotta take care of yourself.
Yeah,
it's just it is what it is.
Yeah, it's not a
I don't get my fucking nails painted.
No.
Not there's anything wrong with that, but I'm just as a heterosexual male, it's not my thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, millennial, right? You're a millennial.
Yep.
So I'm on the border of millennial and.
Say it.
What?
Say it.
Gen X.
Yep.
I'm on the border. You always want to make me older than I actually am.
I mean, we look the same, so right?
Yeah, I mean, we do.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that says a lot about you.
I know.
I mean, like,
It's okay.
How do I look? A little bit younger, but
Black don't crack.
I mean, hey, Cam, I appreciate you saying that. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? No, black don't crack if you take care of it.
Correct.
Like I've seen some blacks that looked terrible. I mean, their face looked like, the backside of a Nestle Crunch bar. You know what I mean? It was just all bumpity shit. But I better end this podcast before I say something that's gonna get me canceled, right?
First of all, cancel culture is not a thing.
Yeah.
I refuse to accept it.
You can't cancel us.
Yeah, you can fucking suck it.
Exactly. A fat one.
Yeah.
But anyways, I would like to end this podcast. Shit.
You forgot?
No. I was thinking about something and then it just like.
Oh, yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. I would like to thank each and every one of you guys for taking the time and listening and watching this podcast. You could be anywhere in the world. But today, you decided to be right here with us. And for that, we thank you. Make sure you like, you subscribe, and click the bell so you know every time we drop a new video. And in the meantime, in between time, holla at ya boys. Peace.